Right, come on then, you trolls. You say I'm bald, I've got no hair. Come on then, I'll take you all on. Go on, have some of that. Do you want some? 'Cause I'll give it you. I know karate. Back off. Come on then.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances.
I did a 3-year stretching
Went
podcast.
the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive.
I'll survive, I'll show ya.
So many times it happens too
That was
fast.
too quick.
You trade your passion for glory.
What'd you do that for? Swap it for glory?
Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive.
Look, you've dropped your dreams on the floor.
It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival.
Come on then, I'll take you all on.
And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger.
Stop looking at me, stupid tiger.
Face to face, back in the heat. Hanging tough, staying hungry.
I'm hungry.
They stack the odds, till we take to the street. We would for the kill with the skill to survive.
Not fair, the odds are against me.
It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight.
I'll have a fight.
Rising up to the challenge of our rival.
I'll take a look at you all.
And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger.
You wanna fight? 'Cause I'll give you.
Hi guys, welcome back to the video. So today I'm going to share with you my top 10 long-lasting fresh fragrances from the house of Deur. Fresh fragrances perfect for the summertime that we're in now. So Deur does many things really well, but one of the most notable things about the releases from this USA-based house is that they make, particularly I find, that some of the fresh fragrances that they do, and of course fresh citrusy type scents tend not to last that long. Deur seem to have somehow managed to make ones that smell really great, and they last a long time on your skin, and they also project really well. I often wear Deur fragrances when I actually want to get noticed. I wear them when we used to be able to go out before lockdown. I've worn them on a number of occasions on nights out when I actually want to get a job done, and I kind of want to, people know me as the fragrance guy, and I want to smell strong. So whatever you think about Deur, you cannot deny really good performance in all of their fragrances, and particularly they've even managed it with these citrusy fresh ones, and that really is the great thing about their stuff. Let's get stuck into it then. I think we've got 10 or maybe 11, and we're going to start with a new release. So the first one is Flagship 3. I think Stephen from Redolescence has reviewed this one, and it's a really interesting fragrance. This one is, I would put this in the kind of guilty pleasure category for me. Flagship 3, there was an original fragrance by Deur. This is an all original creation. They did a Flagship, really nice citrus fragrance. I think it's out of stock at the time of shooting this. Flagship 2, I've never tried, and Flagship 3 is the new one. So this is a citrus aromatic fragrance with a difference. I'm just going to read the notes. I've cheated a bit and written some of these down on a piece of paper. Hope you don't mind that. So, note listing for this one. Check it out. Rhubarb, grapefruit, bergamot, neroli, jasmine, vetiver, juniper berry, pink pepper, ambrane, whatever that is, cedarwood, blonde woods, and suede leather. So the red colour of the bottle actually is quite useful, quite indicative of what's going to go on with this fragrance. So this is a really bold citrus fragrance, but it's a fruity, sweet kind of citrus. I think there's a bit of blurb on their website that says something about enjoying a strawberry mojito by the poolside. Now there isn't a note of strawberry listed, but maybe it's a combination of the rhubarb with some of the other things in here. It's a very strong fragrance that reminds me a little bit of the vibe of maybe kind of a red coloured tropical style cocktail that you have by the pool, or almost like a red lollipop or that kind of thing. It's a kind of red berry type of flavour mixed with citrus. Very bold. It smells a bit synthetic. It doesn't smell as beautiful and crisp and natural as some of the other ones that I'm going to talk about later. Some of my favourite crisp citrus fragrances are kind of what I'd call classy or gentlemanly. This isn't. This is the one that I'd wear when I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt, which I occasionally do actually when it's really hot, and I'm, a barbecue in the hot summer when I want a kind of it's like listening to a Michael Bolton track or something and really loving it, but not really wanting to admit that you actually like Michael Bolton. It's not really my scene. This kind of fruity, kind of youthful vibe, but it is really, really, really strong, really bold. And yeah, if you're just in that kind of playful, fun mood, in all honesty, this would be popular with a hell of a lot of people. So Flagship 3, a fun, guilty pleasure. I was sent it free, of course. It's available in a 100ml size. I think the official price is $165 on their website, which is not so cheap. They're coming with these nicer, snazzier presentations and a nice box for these now, for these, a few of theirs are available in 100ml, but a really interesting scent. And I think there's often a discount code on the site, which takes quite often quite a big chunk off the actual price. Let's move on. Okay, so something completely different now. This is more what Dua are traditionally known for, Amalfi Coast. This has been around a while, this fragrance, and this is their take on Creed's Jardin d'Amalfi. A brilliant fragrance from the Creed exclusive line, therefore very, very expensive to buy from Creed, more expensive than Aventus or that kind of thing. And a really, really beautiful citrusy Mediterranean style fragrance. It's juicy and vibrant and absolutely beautiful. I have a sample of the original, a little decant, and it's good, but the performance is not so great. This one has really, really outstanding performance and lasts actually ages. I've got a few notes written down here. We've got mandarin, orange, bergamot, pink pepper, petitgrain, cedarwood, apple, rose, Haitian vetiver, white musk and cinnamon. So it really is like walking through a lovely garden somewhere in Italy, maybe by the Amalfi Coast. I've never done that. It's juicy, it's fresh, it's citrusy, it's very natural smelling. And in this version here from Dua, their tribute to the original, it really hangs around on your clothes. So great performance. Love the smell of Jardin d'Amalfi, but can't really justify spending that money on that fragrance myself. This, of course, available in the 30ml smaller size, which I forget the price for this one, but these are they can vary around the $50 to $65 mark, but again, there's discounts. So I think well worth it if you are looking for a long-lasting and exquisite citrus aromatic fragrance. Very, very close in smell when I've compared. I mean, hard to tell apart from the Creed original, I think. Okay, moving on then to, this is, if I had to say my absolute favourite in the list, it's going to be this one. It's I've talked about it loads. Best citrus ever. This is their take on Henri Jacques Iroir, discontinued now, so the only way you can get close to the smell of that is this one. And this is a superb citrus aromatic fragrance. It's kind of spicy, beautiful crisp bergamot and other citrus melanges, a melange of citrus notes in there. A nice lavender thing going on. I did write it down, I have to admit. Note listing for this one actually is neroli, lemon leaf, iris, lavender, sandalwood, labdanum and vetiver. So it's an absolutely beautiful creation. It's got this real classiness about it. It's got that real gentlemanly kind of vibe. Very nice vibrant citrus in the opening. Nice floral tones in the mid, bit of lavender, almost kind of a barbershop vibe. It really is classy, and as it dries down and sticks around on the skin, really behaves like a high quality niche fragrance. And of course it is based on a very, very expensive one from Henri Jacques. If there's a criticism of Dua, and that there are many legitimate criticisms, let's look at some of those, so I make it a balanced review because I've been sent these free. I don't want you to think I'm just promoting them. Of course, the packaging on the normal 30ml one certainly is basic. They've upped their game with the boxes a bit now, so they're getting a bit better, a bit more solid, and they've got the little magnetic flip thing, but they're not so fancy compared to a niche fragrance. So that's one downside. Another one is that I think when they're cloning a fragrance, sometimes they concentrate these, I think, at 30% and over of fragrance oil, and the real thing that they're basing it on is usually 15, maybe 20%, but often more like 15%. So they're really concentrating more oil in the fragrance. And I think even if you use exactly the same ingredients, that changes the feel of the fragrance a little bit. The denseness that gives you that extra performance probably robs you of a little bit of the beautiful delicacy, and some of the nuances in the opening notes and things feel like they're not quite there, particularly when you first spray them. So that is a thing that they don't get perfectly right when they pay tribute to some of these fragrances. So with some of the creeds and stuff where I smell them side by side, if I smell on a piece of paper or something, the creed one just has some nuances of delicacy and beauty that are perhaps just missing a little bit in the Deur one, but certainly as time goes on that becomes less of a thing, and in the air you'll be very hard pressed often to tell the two fragrances apart, and of course a trade-off is with that extra denseness in the tone of the fragrance, you get better performance with the Deur. So those are the things to bear in mind. Best citrus ever, I mean, good name. Massam Raza, the main man at Deur, felt that Henry Jacques Iroha was the best citrus fragrance he'd ever tried. This is an absolute favourite for me. It's my second bottle. I used up pretty much the whole of the other one. I've taken it on holiday in hot weather in Gran Canaria. Exquisite, love it. Okay, next up is our first hybrid, and this is Poseidon in the Caribbean. I'll keep it brief here. It mixes, so Deur do these hybrid fragrances. This one mixes the notes of Creed's Virgin Island water with the famous Creed Aventus. So it's beautiful lime and coconut from Virgin Island water, and Aventus bergamot, pineapple. We all know the note listing for that one probably. It works so well. You mainly get the lime and the coconut from the Virgin Island water and the fresh elements of the Aventus for a perfect, really strong fragrance. I've got noticed a lot, 2 or 3 times when I've gone out and worn this one. Again, it's one that when I want to actually get smelled, I do often, I love Guerlain fragrances, I love classic fragrances, I love some of my vintage bottles. But sometimes when I just want to go out and get people to think, oh wow, you smell good, I do reach for the Deurs, and this was one that really has had that effect 2 or 3 times when I've worn out. Poseidon in the Caribbean, one of their best hybrids, I think, and it was also one of the first. Okay, now for something really special, Vert Instinct. This, sorry to keep doing Creed versions, this is their take on Green Valley from Creed, discontinued now many years ago. Came out way back in 1999. I've never even tried a sample of the original. Beautiful, vibrant green fragrance. Again, beautiful citrus notes and floral tones with a lovely twist of mint. So if you think of green Irish tweed, many people will compare this to that because they both got green in the name. This is even more green and kind of almost how sometimes I wish green Irish tweed smelled. It's so green, so vibrant and so beautiful and grassy. It's got grass here. I think the original fragrance was based on a golf course. It lasts ages. It's totally unique because you can't get the original now. And thank you, Deur, for bringing this one back. I might wear this tonight. I've got to wear this one more. Vert Instinct is an absolute cracker, guys. Okay, next up, Victorian. This is their take on Renaissance by Xerjoff. That is an exquisite fruit salad type fragrance. Lovely citrus melange, as Max Forti would say in the opening notes. There's a little bit of mint in that one too. Lovely white musk and different florals in the mid. Exquisite citrusy fragrance. Okay performance on it, but it's not the best. And the smell is so similar. As soon as you smell it, it's like, oh, Renaissance. I actually don't have a bottle of Renaissance anymore, long story, but kind of this is why I haven't re-upped on it. And it is just exquisite, but it's stronger than the original fragrance. I did try them recently side by side because a friend has the original, and then again, you don't get such a beautiful, delicate nuance in the opening when you spray and test on a card. But in the air, you're hard-pressed to tell a difference. And the performance, again, take it for granted, all of the ones in this video, very, very amazing for a citrus aromatic style fragrance. Absolutely beautiful. Going to rattle these off quick. Bianca Pura, if you like Creed's Pure White Cologne. Same story, very similar, hard to tell apart, lasts longer, stronger. Just classic kind of white shirt fragrance, bit like Jardin d'Amalfi. It's part of the same range, the same line from Creed, the higher end ones, and it's an exquisite kind of white musky, very simple fragrance and just very, very effective. I've used tons. This is a real go-to for me and lovely performance again. So Bianca Pura is one of the best takes they've got on these Creed exclusive ones. I really like this alongside Amalfi Coast. Right, so we've just got 2 left. Zeus Matrix, another hybrid thing. This is, again, Xerjoff. It's Neo from Xerjoff combined with the notes of Kobe or Kobe. And that's a really interesting fragrance. So Neo, just a classic soapy, fresh, beautiful, natural smelling citrus aromatic. Kobe is sort of not a million miles away, but I will go for the note listing on Zeus Matrix and give you the full thing because it's complex. So when you combine all the notes of these two, you end up with Calabrian bergamot, that's my favourite kind of bergamot, Italian neroli, orange from Florida, cardamom, nutmeg, pink pepper, tomato leaf, cedarwood, guyakwood, Haitian vetiver, amber resins, patchouli, that's Indian patchouli, my favourite kind of patchouli, Paraguayan pettigrain, you guessed it, my favourite kind, rosewood, tonka bean and agarwood. So Kobe has a bit of oud and I think tomato leaf. To put it simply, it's got a really nice citrus thing, but you get a little bit more exoticism and spices from the Kobe. But when you put the two together, then you end up with something that doesn't smell exactly like either, almost like a new, unique fragrance. Kind of a sweetness and a spiciness, but crisp, beautiful freshness too, and kind of soapy. Again, you know, a lot of these same kind of vibe, strong freshness that lasts all day, and it almost, another negative, it could be annoying. They're so strong. Beware if you overspray these. You know, smelling strong isn't always a good thing, even if it's a good, strong smell. Not everyone appreciates that, but I do love smelling of Zeus Matrix. Last one then, guys. If you've ever been frustrated by the performance of Creed's Neroli Sauvage, a lovely fragrance featuring neroli and loads of lemon verbena, beautiful lemon verbena tones in that one, then I think that problem is largely solved by Wild Neroli from Dürr. Not one of the ones that's recently come out or that they're hyping, but I thought I'd mention it. So Wild Neroli just captures that exquisite lemon verbena, crisp Mediterranean smell. I'm sorry that the descriptions will be a little bit similar, and you know, it's hard to describe the differences between similarly styled fragrances, but this is excellent. If you've ever tried Neroli Sauvage, you'll know how it smells, and you've probably, like me, and I'm forgiving on poor performance in fresh fragrances. That one does frustrate me, and this solves the problem. Again, at the expense that denseness of the smell robs us of a bit of the airy delicacy of that opening on Neroli Sauvage. But I think overall the trade-off is worth it. Fantastic performance, good value for money because you get a stronger version. And I think the 30ml size makes these accessible price-wise, but price per mil, they are expensive for things which are arguably in most cases not original creations. So let me know what you think about that. I've selected 10 or 11 here. Obviously, Dürr have huge amounts of stuff. They bring out stuff all the time. It's not like a normal fragrance house. So I've only got a tiny fraction of their total output, so I can't say these are their best 10, but they're the best 10 in my collection, which I'm very privileged to have. Let me know which of these you've tried. Do you have a favourite fragrance from Dürr? What do you think about the brand overall? And I'll be interested to try and answer as many of those comments as I can down below in the comments section. Thanks for joining me, guys. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Oh no, I've got a new catchphrase. Let's try this one. Remember, guys, sometimes life stinks, but we can always smell good. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.